All right, excited to have the first new signing of the 2025 year on the podcast, Ryan Spaulding. What's up, man? How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
For sure, man. I'm excited to talk to you. We met at the what is that event called that I can't think of? It was the kit reveal event.
Jersey reveal, yeah.
Kit reveal event. What'd you think of the kit? What'd you think?
I think it's beautiful.
I love it too.
Big fan.
Yeah, and this may sound weird, but like it looks better on you guys than it looks in the pictures, I think. Like it's better wearable.
Yeah, you definitely got to see it in person, but I mean,
Yeah.
it'll look great on the fans too when they're
good
wearing
answer.
that.
Good. Thanks for helping me out on that. Yeah. All right, man. Well, how was that event? You got to meet some fans that night. I think you were the only new player there, right? Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think I was the only new player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. Didn't fully know what we were getting into, but it was so
that's
cool.
What you said.
Yeah, so cool going out there, being able to talk with a ton of these fans that were just obviously super passionate about the club, and then obviously passionate about wanting to get to know me, and it was just a great event.
Yeah, we got some hair jokes in right off the bat.
Of course.
With you and Cicerone, I think we got to start with the hair, man. I mean, is that a staple for you? You've had it a long time.
It's probably been about 4 years that it's been at this length. It's turned into a staple. Like
it has to be.
It kind of just goes with me now, and I think it's nice like having the fans recognize me for my hair and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a staple now. It'll stay for a bit.
Is it a lot of work?
No, it's more just like you're doing something with it every day, but keep a good schedule. It's fine. It's nothing crazy.
Well, excited you're here in Sacramento. We have a lot to talk about here, and I'm excited to get into it. But I want to ask about how camp's been so far. Being in Sacramento, how is it? Like, what's the experience been like for you so far? I know you probably haven't had a chance to do a lot, but you've been here a little bit of time, so I figured we'd ask.
No, so team-wise, just in preseason, it's been really good. We're pushing a high level every day. Obviously, that's what Neill wants from us, and kind of just getting used to playing with the new guys around me, and just really get used to the kind of players they are and their tendencies, and seeing how we mesh together. And I think we're doing a great job of it. Obviously, we've had a few preseason games, and it's nice to see how we've progressed even over the course of the last 3 weeks.
Yep.
And of course, with more to go, obviously, with a couple more weeks of preseason. And then, I'm loving the city so far. Been able to hit a few restaurants, big on the coffee shops.
All right.
It's been great, honestly.
What have you hit so far?
Coffee shops, love a little Temple. Been to Temple a few times, multiple locations.
All right.
Pachamama, big fan. Been to Milka a few times. Kind of like to switch it up. Me, Jared, and Freddie, we've been going over and finding a new spot kind of after every training. That's each awesome. Day. So it's
very
been
cool.
Nice. Yeah.
What about restaurants? What have you been able to check out restaurant-wise?
Yeah, restaurants. Been to Makuni a few times. I'm a big sushi guy, so that's definitely been a staple for me so far. Been to Maydoun, Persian. Amazing. I've been there a few times, probably 4 or 5 times. So that's definitely high on my list. Honestly, it's really been those two, and then just cooking and grocery shopping at the co-op. Me and Jared been going over there, and then he'll cook up a little steak for us, have a nice little dinner. So it's been a good time.
That's great, man. So how's it been on the training field so far? You mentioned you guys you see the progress. Basically each friendly or scrimmage you guys had, but in terms of the camaraderie on the field, the competitiveness, how much is there of that every day in training?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot. It's a good group when guys are just kind of internally motivated out there, and you're going out there every single day, and every single guy on the field is like, I'm gonna be the best today, I'm gonna win today, and I think that just continues to drive the standard. And I think, especially here, what I've seen, we have so many guys like that, and it's just made the training just super intense. And you almost want it to be where we're killing it in training every day, and then you get out to the game, and it's like, okay, this is almost a step back than what we're used to. And I think that's just how you continue to push the standard and get results in this league.
You played for Neill Collins in the past, so did you know he was going to be the head coach when you signed, or was it already in the works? Like, what was that process like?
Yeah, so it was kind of, I wouldn't say simultaneous, but as soon as I saw he was going to get this job, I reached out to him, and it was a pretty mutual feeling
That's
that
great.
we were going to try to get me out here. So
That's awesome.
it worked out really well. Neill's always been a coach that I've thought extremely high of. And so when I saw he was coming out to this like great club, great organization, I was like, that's absolutely somewhere I'd want to be, playing for a guy like him. And so, yeah, it's awesome how that worked out.
We don't know much about Neill. You know more about Neill than we
Yeah,
do because
yeah.
he's new to us, obviously, here in Sacramento. What can you tell us about him as a coach on the player side? How does he talk to players in training camp matches?
Yeah,
Like
I mean, that's I would say one of his strengths is kind of that, the personal relationships, but then also how that translates out onto the field. He's always just demanding the most from us. He pushes us, and he brings so much energy and emotion to it that you have no choice but to just run through a wall for him, with him. Like he's right there with you. And then you go off field, and we're having lunches together, and he's sitting with the guys at the table, getting to know everyone, talking about stories of his past, guys' past, and it's just, you get a really just well-knit group of players, staff, and that just all it's a winning formula.
Is he a type of coach where you kind of know where you stand day in and day out? I mean, obviously it's early because, everybody's vying for a starting spot right now. But in terms of when you've played for him in the past, is he somebody where, hey, I kind of know where I stand, or I need to be stepping up? How does he motivate people? Does he how does he approach kind of that aspect?
No, it's definitely not the case where it's just like you step out there and you know exactly who's going to be in the lineup come Saturday. I think he keeps it that way for a reason. He wants guys to continue to push each other, and you're always fighting for that spot, and it keeps even whoever started the last game on their toes to continue to just push and get better. Because, again, you need that throughout the season. It's not going to be the same 11 guys playing every single game. You need the next guy ready to step in, and that only comes from pushing it during the weeks, consistently during training.
Obviously you came here primarily because he was coming here, from what it sounds like. What is your guys' relationship like?
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. Like, again, he emphasizes so much just the relationship between player and coach, even off the field. And just through my time with him at Tampa, and then even when he went overseas, we continued to just talk and kind of go through what was going on in each of our lives. And so just kind of catching up through that way. And then, again, just how important it is to him to have that relationship and continue to grow with that, because then you're able to push, I think, even more out on the field, because it's coming from a place of, hey, I trust you. I know the kind of person you are. I know I can get more out of you. So for me, I thought it was just the perfect balance of, he's a great person, but then he's also going to demand the most from us out on the field, and he's not going to let anything slide.
Is there a level, when you come to a new team, right, there's always a little bit of a level of discomfort, right? Because it's new, there's a lot of new players, blah, 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 everything in that realm. However, you have a level of comfort with Neill. Is that different coming into this club when you've had to come into new clubs when you haven't known the coaching staff?
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely helped in just a sense that I know the coach.
Sure.
I still then have to get kind of used to all the players as well, which is a big part of it as well.
Yeah.
So it kind of just checked off one of the boxes already of not having to get to know a completely new coach, new system, all that stuff.
Gotcha. And I know you guys went down to SoCal for a trip, got to do obviously a lot of games on the field, had some fun off the field as well. Are you allowed to share? Not that you're not allowed to share, but what did you guys do to kind of have some fun off the field and build the culture?
Yeah, I think even just being around the hotel with the guys, you're having big meals together multiple times a day. You're spending time away from training, just walking around, going to see the beach, the pool, going to grab a coffee, all that stuff. For kind of that extended period of time, it just helps grow the relationships in every way. And again, that just translates back onto the field just with comfort. And
are you rooming with Mazzola? Is that what you were saying? Do you feel like you've gone to a lot of different places with him? I don't know if...
No, so on that trip, I was actually with Freddie.
Okay.
He was my roommate when I was back in Tampa. We would always be on the away trips together. I'm not sure if they planned, but that's just how that worked out on this trip. So that's of course great. But then, it was always a little group of us, 4, 5, 6, sometimes more, just kind of going out, getting to know each other. And
Yep.
yeah, it was a good time.
Good. That's great. I want to talk about your background a little bit. Went to UNC from Connecticut, right?
From Connecticut, yeah. I was
Okay.
born in Hartford, Connecticut, lived in Glastonbury, Connecticut for 9 years.
Okay.
And then we moved back down to North Carolina,
Okay.
Cary, North Carolina. And then parents still there, sisters in North Carolina as well.
Right on.
But yeah, and then
When you're living in North Carolina, is like the dream is to go to UNC. Is that how it worked for you, or no?
So actually, I went to UNC Charlotte, which is again, it's same
Similar.
University of North Carolina
Maybe
system.
Maybe I'm wrong. Is it not the same as?
It's same like University of North Carolina. I get maybe branch. I don't even know what you would say, but then there's like 4
There's
or
a bunch of
5
them. Yeah,
different
okay.
versions. But again, Charlotte was a great school as well, great
Sure.
soccer program as well. And so it was kind of interesting because growing up, I was playing with like the Capital Area Railhawk Academy system. That was the team down there, which now at North Carolina FC. But I mean, that was the goal for everyone, is like you want to go to a high level Division I program.
Sure.
And so really starting from U16, U18, like that's the goal. Everyone's pushing for that.
Yeah.
You have kind of groups of guys go into each of the kind of local schools, really, because that was just you'd see a ton of guys going to UNC Wilmington. They'd have a nice group of all the guys from the academy, or UNC Chapel Hill, UNC Charlotte. Yeah, it was a cool experience. Soccer's huge down there, so you're really pushing it because there's so many people that want to play in that academy system, and yeah, just helped me really develop at that younger age.
You played for Tampa Bay Rowdies with Neill. I want to ask, because we obviously have a match on Saturday that we're excited about at home. It's a friendly meet the team event. A lot of good things happening. Like, what is Neill like on the sideline during a match? Is he going to be breathing down the fourth's neck? Is he going to be like, what is he like? What is he like on the sideline?
Honestly, no, I wouldn't say he's not going to be breathing down the fourth's neck. He's not going to be really breathing down the middle ref's neck either. He's definitely of the mentality that stuff's going to happen that's out of our control. We just need to be able to control what we can do.
Got it.
You're going to hear him, and it's just going to be mostly kind of encouraging.
Got it.
Yelling sometimes, but again, it's out of the I know what I can get from you. I'm going to push the standard. Right. But yeah, mostly it's going to be at us, just really getting us going. Yeah, 100%.
He loses his accent when he yells. Did you notice this? Have you noticed this?
Oh, jeez, I did not notice
No?
that. No.
I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll find out for sure Saturday.
Okay, yeah.
When I've heard him like yell.
I'll keep an ear out for that one.
I mean,
too.
maybe not during the game. Maybe like I just was curious if you noticed. It's like when you're like, oh, that's a British singer. And then when they sing, it's like the accent's kind of gone.
That's interesting. No, I never noticed.
Never noticed that.
Never.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm wrong, but that was the interpretation that I've seen. I want to ask about playing in France. What was that process like to go play over there? What was it like being there? How different is it?
Yeah, I mean, that was I would say a pretty big step in kind of my soccer career. I ended up going to UNC Charlotte a semester early. So after my second semester of my sophomore year, I had the opportunity to go sign and play for this team, and at the time was 4th Division France. They're now 3rd Division. And really how I thought through it was I want to play as many games as possible. I want to be playing and training as much as possible throughout the year. And I think in the college system, how it was with the really short 3 or 4 months of actual season in the fall, I was just like, I'm missing out on so much time to continue to develop. And my goal was always to be a professional player. And so I was like, what is the next best step for me to take to continue towards that goal? And at the time it was to leave Charlotte and take this chance to go play in France, where really I didn't speak the language. I honestly didn't even really know the place where I was going. It was kind of just a risk that I was willing to take, and looking back, I'm very happy that I took it.
What was it like? Was there some culture shock for you going over there big time?
Yeah, I mean, a ton of culture shock. I mean, yeah, it was tough. Like,
sure.
it absolutely had its positives. I met some incredible people out there. Obviously, the soccer for me at the time was great. It was exactly what I needed. Like, guys, we had a ton of quality players, guys that had played in Ligue 1, Ligue 2, like really driving the standard of these trainings. And so I felt like I was able to grow a ton. But on the other hand, it is tough. You talk about the culture shock and just you're so far from friends and family and the life that you had been so used to, just like your entire life.
Plus the time change with those people.
Plus the time
stuff,
change.
yeah.
And so for me, the whole time I was there, it was kind of just weighing I know this is tough. It's not maybe the ideal situation, but there's so many positives that are coming from it. It was just something I was willing to stick out while I was there.
That seems really awesome. I mean, what a great mentality that is going over there, for sure. All right, I want to ask about the team so far. What are some of the things that you guys have seen the improvement on the field in terms of, are there certain aspects that of the team's play so far you're like, oh man, we've really gotten better at X so far in the preseason?
Yeah, I mean, of course, preseason is big on just getting up to that fitness level.
Sure.
And I honestly think that we've progressed a lot in that. Obviously, guys came in already ready to go. So that helps when you're pushing the kind of pressing and defensive style that we're trying to play with. And so because of that, I've seen a lot of growth in that sense. And then really just the relationships on the field. Like you get used to playing with the guys that are around you on the field, like me getting used to playing with the left forward, the left center mid, left center back. Like you have to be able to play with these guys and kind of get to a point where you're knowing what each other are thinking. It just helps out on the field, make it a lot smoother. And I think just every day we're in training together just continues to improve and get better.
Who is the most competitive guy in training right now?
Most competitive guy. That's a tough one, honestly, because it's really like you step out there and you might be having a fun little conversation with a guy before training. Once you step over that white line, guys are completely different. It's just we're so locked in and just no one likes losing. Like that's the one thing. It's just everyone wants to be the best out there, and that's honestly I've been really happy to see that.
You come to Sacramento. You mentioned that Neill being here was a big reason, but I'm sure there were other reasons that had to go into that. What was it about the city, about the club that attracted you here?
Yeah, so again, kind of just being in the American system, you hear about just different clubs, and I think Sacramento have always been one of the premier championship clubs. It's just when you look at the championship as a whole, you hear about it. Sacramento's always a team that's getting mentioned in one of the better teams of the league. Obviously, the fans I'm hearing are absolutely incredible. I can't wait to get out there and play in front of them. And these are all just kind of things that you take into account. You're like, okay, like it's a great city. They have great fans, great stadium. Again, I was hearing great things about the city already in terms of restaurants and kind of just the way of living out here. And all of that was just like great things to hear. And I was like, that seems like a place where I'd thrive.
Have you spent much time out on the West Coast or no? Previously?
So more so like Southern California.
Okay.
But really coming up here to like NorCal was my first time out here. And so I was excited to see what it had in store, and I've been super happy.
I want to like get to know you a little bit more in terms of what you like to do off the field. It seems like going to have coffee. You're obviously very conversational, but like, what do you like to do when you have some free time?
Yeah, honestly, I like just hanging out with teammates, friends. Again, like we go to our coffee shops. We'll spend an hour or two there just talking. I'm trying to think. Really, just kind of that stuff. We'll go over to the pool, hot tub that we have over at the apartments. Trying new restaurants. Again, that's definitely up there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then I think maybe once it gets a little warmer, I'll go out, play a little golf. Definitely a golf guy.
Oh, okay. Right on. We got some golfers on the team.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Yeah. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. We got some coffee drinkers. We got some obsessed coffee drinkers.
Yeah.
Maybe stay away from those guys if you're Videolo is really the only one, but
okay, good to know.
He's I mean, ask him. You haven't heard his coffee intake?
I haven't heard this.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like 5 cups a day.
That's impressive. That's a lot.
It's a lot. This is pre-kid, before he had the baby. Yeah. Ask him about it.
I'll ask him tomorrow.
It's pretty wild, and he's pretty calm. Like he's pretty
right.
for having 5 cups of coffee a day. Anyway, ask him about it. But in terms of golf, you got a lot of golfers on the team as well. I think we typically have the guys play in a couple tournaments throughout the year.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. Are you a decent golfer? Are you a competitive golfer? Like, what are you? Are you just out there for fun?
Definitely out there for fun.
Okay.
I'm pretty good. I'm solid. I'll hit some nice shots. I won't destroy the day. Like we'll be able to get through a round at a decent pace when I'm out there. It's not gonna be anything crazy.
Yeah.
It's a little rough on the green, but it's okay.
Got it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I heard that we got a lot of golfers, and I think they take it when they go on playing those tournaments. I think they take it.
I believe it. Again,
seriously.
It goes back to the competitiveness.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like I think Nick. I know Jack is definitely competitive.
Yeah.
I could see Jack just being one of those golfers who just is so angry if he hits a bad shot and he can't get over it for like 5 shots.
Well, that is the one thing with golf is that you want to hit that perfect shot. You hook it into the forest. That'll get to you.
Yeah. Crazy. All right, we got a friendly this Saturday against Ventura County. Obviously, a good opportunity. Kind of the first chance for you, other than the event we talked about, to be in front of fans after the game, the Meet the Team event. You'll get to meet even more fans. But what is the expectation for you guys going into Saturday? How much of a real game are you guys, and maybe you don't know yet, are you preparing against Ventura County? In terms of like minutes, are you? I'm assuming everybody's not playing a full 90, right?
I'm not fully sure what the minute breakdown will be, but it's a real game for us. We're going out there. We're preparing exactly like how we would for a league game.
Okay.
We're gonna go out there, continue to just push the standard, continue to do what we've been doing this whole preseason and training, and just continue to get better at the things we know we need to. And it's another opportunity to go out there and just, again, get more minutes, get more comfortable with each other. And it'll be really cool to be in the stadium for the first time and in front of all the fans. So I'm super excited for that. Yeah,
man, I'm excited too. And it looks like weather's going to be great too, which is super nice. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We got opening night in a couple weeks, which I'm sure you're even more fired up for, which will be a blast. Before we let you go, a couple things before we do. We'll have you ask a question. I know we talked about it before we started. We didn't tell Neill. Did not tell Neill.
No, I got a few.
You got a few? Okay.
No, not a few. Yeah, maybe a few. Okay.
Maybe a few. Okay, all right. But I wanted to ask about, like, you said it's really your first time kind of in Northern California. Is that what you were saying? What are the types of things you want to check out in the area? And a lot of guys got to go to Tahoe, Yosemite, I think. San Francisco. Definitely
a Tahoe. I'm hearing a lot of great things about that.
Are you like an outdoorsy guy?
Yeah, definitely. So that's definitely on the list. I'll make the drive down to San Francisco area. Got a few friends down there, so maybe meet up there. But honestly, it's mostly just kind of getting comfortable in Sacramento, kind of what we got around here, and just excited to explore.
And how long have you actually been here in Sacramento? 2 months? Less than 2 months?
Less than 2 months.
Man, it's crazy.
Maybe not even a month. What is today?
Today is the 18th when we're recording.
Okay, just over a month, and I think I got here on like the 13th of January.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. That's wild. Just all the things that have gone on in terms of training. I know you guys have been training a lot, playing a lot of games. So hasn't been probably a ton of free time to go out and do a lot.
Yeah.
When you want to take care of yourself.
It's a decent balance. So we go out there, we put in a good shift every day, but then you need that time just to kind of get off your feet, just make sure you're ready to go the next day.
All right. Before we let you go, brought a question for us. What do you got for me?
Yeah, so I mean, it might be a little personal, but
all right.
Kind of I got to know.
I've gotten hit with all kinds of random stuff in this.
It's going to be random for sure.
No, that's all right. It's good. It's not going to be more random than Mazzola. So
first, I got to know, you listen to music a lot.
Yeah.
Are you Apple Music or Spotify?
Great question. I'm an Apple Music guy.
Apple Music guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me tell you why, though.
Tell me why, please.
Because first off, I've been Apple Music guy since like whenever they started doing the streaming.
Yeah.
And I've just never gone away at all.
Got you. So, honestly, I'm the same way. So
are you?
I don't judge there.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I feel like a lot of people who are like diehard Spotify people,
they're like, you got to make this switch. But
you got to make it. I'm like, I already have my playlist.
Exactly.
I can't start over.
I know the interface. It's great.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what was your Apple Music replay top 5 artists last year.
My phone's being used to record, so we can't tell you everything. I can tell you this. This is gonna sound crazy.
I need to hear it.
All right, so I went to a. Do you know who like composers are, like movie composers?
A little bit.
Okay.
Maybe
I went to a
one.
my buddy got tickets to this concert, and his buddy couldn't make it. It was a Hans Zimmer concert.
Hans Zimmer, yes.
You know Hans Zimmer?
Of course.
I went and saw him live in Oakland.
Yeah.
And this was in like November.
Okay.
And I was like kind of going in and being like, whatever. I'm just kind of going just because I got the free ticket, right? I went and it was like not like crazy music, but he did like Lion King, he did Pirates of the Caribbean, he did Inception, Dune, like all these movies.
Interstellar.
Yeah. And so like I'm listening to all this track, Batman, and I'm like crazy, like songs that I've heard of, and like seeing it actually performed, I was like, this is wild. So like I kind of got on a binge of like
I can see that
composed tracks basically.
Yeah.
So that's what ended up very high up. Hans Zimmer.
I love that. That's not what I was
expecting. Crazy.
That's cool though. Yeah.
And then I do listen to a lot, like for game days, like when you guys walk out or like intro songs, and like I do a lot of listening to figure out what the next year's thing is going to be.
Yeah.
So I have been listening to do some stuff, trying to figure out what is best. Like we've been talking about for people, not a lot of people listen to this, so it's not like I'm giving away too much. Like one of the things we try to do is like, what do you play when the players walk out onto the pitch? It's such a important moment.
Absolutely.
But like super high energy, like you guys are walking, not running. So it's got to be but it's got to have a build to it. So
it's got to be some Hans Zimmer then, right?
I think that might be too slow. So here's what the idea is, and we got to figure out how to do it. One of the ideas is like if it's Hell's Bells.
I don't know that.
You don't know AC/DC Hell's Bells?
No. Oh no.
Oh man. Okay. Well,
can you hum the rhythm or something like?
It's literally bells. Like you ever been to an NFL game?
Yeah.
They play it on third down a lot of times in the NFL.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. I think.
But I don't want to use just that version. Like So like we're gonna work on a remixed version that we're gonna create that like has a build to it.
Okay.
We'll see if it actually happens. Like we might hear it and be like, it sucks. But that's the kind of stuff that unfortunately, it's a lot of those that like because I listen to it over and over and over, so it rises.
Interesting.
Rises
All right.
That was a 5-minute answer to your question.
I love that. I'm glad we got into that.
What do you listen to?
I love everything, honestly. Like
really?
I'll do a hip hop, country, alternative, folky, pop. Like I'll do everything. Yeah. Right. Throwbacks especially.
Yeah. I will say as I've gotten older, I'm not that old, but I feel like I don't listen to near as much new music as I used to. So I listen to way more old stuff. And I'm like rediscovering songs from like the 80s and 90s, and I'm like, oh, this is.
No, I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
My daily kind of when I'm going to training, it's really just songs that I've heard before and I know every word to, and I'm just going in the car.
I feel like you have only so many songs you can know in your brain, and I'm like, I don't want to keep adding to that. I rather.
And it's again like I know what I like.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pop that on.
This could be. People are probably like, no, we gotta listen to new music. I don't know, man. Hey, it is what it is.
Teach their own.
Yeah, do what you want, for sure. Do it on Spotify. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Not on an Apple. Ryan, man, great to meet you. I mean, it's the second time we met, but this was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming in to do it.
Yeah,
excited
absolutely.
to see you play on Saturday.
Super excited, yeah.
And excited for the upcoming season, man. So thanks for doing this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man.